Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Trellis and Trails Homestead. I'm Jacqueline. Thanks for joining today. We are getting geared up for a pantry challenge. It's only December 22nd today, so we still have about a week and a half or so before starting our pantry challenge. If you're not familiar with the pantry challenge, Three Rivers Homestead on YouTube, she's on Instagram as well. Jessica, she's really great. I have followed her pantry challenge videos for years, and I also participate in my own pantry challenge. The challenge lasts through January and February, and it's basically just where you eat everything that you have at home, in your pantry, in your freezers, fridge, wherever, and just limit what you buy from the store. Some people are really extreme with their pantry challenge and they don't buy anything from the grocery store for those 2 months, January and February. And then others, they may buy certain things from the store. For instance, because I don't do like a big stock up ahead of time, I basically just take an inventory of what I currently have. If there's something that I feel like I need to replace or that we're really low on, and it's something that we eat often, then I may go ahead and replace it with like my next grocery order. But I don't do like a big stock up in advance with the intentions of eating all of that food. I have enough food here already without doing a stock up. So I just want to get an inventory today, kind of get an idea of what I have, and just kind of go from there, figure out what we're going to buy, what we're going to not buy. What I love about these pantry challenges is that you can make your own rules for them. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. You don't have to completely buy nothing from the store for 2 months. If you need to walk into a grocery store to pick up milk or yogurt or meat or anything, feel free to do that. Don't completely cut yourself off if there's something that you actually need. Now, if it's something that you don't really need and just like want or think would be great to have or whatever the case may be, a special occasion, whatever, don't just go out and buy something just because. Make it be for a purpose. Like if you have, a birthday or an event or something that you need to buy things for, definitely buy those things for them. But again, it's really your own rules. However you want to form your pantry challenge is what you can do. And I don't limit myself from going to the store for certain things. You guys know, if you've been around this last year, I order grocery delivery often. One of my goals for 2025 is actually to go into the grocery store. I do pay for like a yearly sort of membership through my grocery store, through Safeway actually, the Fresh Pass, where I get free delivery on every delivery order, and I pay like $99 a year for it. I just did that this year, and I just started it, I think, a few months ago. Several reasons for that. One, I have been not well the past few months. That's a whole nother ordeal I can talk about in a separate video. Just with some very extreme ongoing dizziness for the last 6 months. I've been fully evaluated for it. I have a couple more things I need to do, one more scan that needs to be done, and kind of go from there. Long story short, it's improving after doing some extensive vestibular rehab and some other things. Really strange. It's been so odd. But that has definitely stopped me from going into stores at times. It's gotten better in the last month, but prior to that, there was no way you were going to catch me walking through a grocery store just because I felt like I was going to fall out into the floor every single time I went somewhere like that, especially due to the fluorescent lights in a lot of these places. It was causing my dizziness to be a lot worse when I was in that environment. So just the strangest thing ever. So my hope is that all of this will continue to improve and I can actually walk into the grocery store and shop for my own groceries in 2025. It's just very convenient to order grocery delivery, but I think that I would like to be able to browse a little bit, pick up things here and there, or get a better idea of what the store has. I do like grocery delivery because I'm not spending extra money on things that if you're in the store and you see something and want to pick it up, great. But I'm not doing that when I'm ordering it online. So there's that. Anyways, all that being said, I'm going to try to go into the grocery store more, but not in January and February. January and February, we're eating what we have at home. So I think I'm going to start with the freezer out in the garage, my deep freezer. I'm not going to go into detail as to what we have out there because I have done a huge freezer tour video. I just posted that not too long ago, maybe a month or so ago, because we got a new deep freezer and I got it all organized. So I have my bison and my other meats and vegetables from the garden and other things in the freezer, and you guys can see all of that in the freezer tour video if you would like to go back and watch it. But I'm going to take you guys out there because I do just want to get another idea, one more shot as to kind of what we have, and then look at the pantry and what I have in my canning pantry, my basement, to see what kinds of things could be paired well together, and just get some kind of brainstorm some meal ideas for the next couple of months. So let me take you out into the garage. I'm so sorry too if yeah, my nose is red, if I'm congested sounding and sniffly in this video. I think I am in most of my videos. I want to say it's just that time of year because it's winter, but also I think I seem to have some chronic congestion going on, so I don't know if that's my cats or what the deal is, but let's go out into the garage. You guys know I've got my garden gloves that have never been in the garden. They are my designated freezer gloves because I don't like to touch cold things, so they just live here on the freezer. Let's see what we got going on in here. It is pretty packed. Lots and lots of things, lots of meats. There is one thing I wanted to point out. I told you guys in my freezer tour video that I didn't have any chicken because I do not like to buy store-bought chicken. I ordered this chicken from Good Ranchers. Let me turn the light on so you can see it better. There we go, that's much better. I ordered this chicken from Good Ranchers, and their chicken breasts, several bags of those, as well as a strip cut chicken breast. So there's just a few packages of these, but these are perfect. I have one inside out of the package. I'll show you. Also, as a free gift, I got a bag of wild caught salmon. We've already eaten 2 of them. 3 came in it, and these were delicious. Look how stunning that salmon is. It was delicious. So I will order from Good Ranchers over and over again. It's a membership program similar to Good Shop or Butcher Box, or I don't know what the other ones are. I looked at a lot of them, but Good Ranchers seem to be one of the most highly reviewed, highest star reviewed company, and they are sourced from farmers throughout the U.S., so local around the country, farm raised meats, and they have lots of things, not just chicken. They have pork, they have beef, they have seafood that they source, and all of their seafood is wild caught. So the salmon is wild caught, so good. The chicken is farm raised, organic, no antibiotics, no added hormones, all natural. It doesn't actually say organic on here, but from farms throughout the United States. So I'm cool with that. I don't want to buy chicken at the grocery store. It just really grosses me out. And then looking at the size of these chickens, again, I'll show you the one that I have inside. That's out of the package already, out of the bag. Looking at the size of these chickens, they're like 4.5 ounce breast fillets, and the size of these breasts compared to breasts that you would get at the grocery store is just very alarming. I feel like grocery store chicken breasts are way bigger than they're supposed to be, and yeah, you can tell that they obviously have hormones, were grown with hormones, and I am just not about that. So we got this chicken. It is so good. I feel like it does taste very different, much fresher, and I will continue to order from Good Ranchers. The membership, you can decide how you want to, this is like not sponsored or anything, I'm paying for all of this, but you can decide how you want to go about getting it. I think it's every 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that. I am getting a box every 8 weeks. That's like the longest stretch of time that you can do. And you can switch the box each time. You do have to pay the price difference from like what your original box was to what the new box that you're getting is if the price is higher. But the prices are actually very reasonable. I did get a Black Friday deal for my box of Good Ranchers. And it came with, I think, 5 bags of chicken, and the salmon was like a free item. It ends up being about, I think it was about roughly 11-ish pounds of chicken. Maybe higher price than what you would buy in the grocery store, depending on where you live and what kind of chicken you're getting at the grocery store, if it's organic and hormone-free, no antibiotics, things like that. So kind of all relative, but I paid $119 for that box. Again, it was a Black Friday deal. So I think in the future, if I get the chicken box, I'll pay just a little bit more than that, but not very much more. I don't know. I think I'll definitely continue to order the chicken. And there's some variety boxes, like some with chicken and pork, some with chicken and beef, chicken, beef, and pork, whatever. There's like a whole separate seafood box. I think I'm going to order a seafood box in the future, just strictly seafood. I'm going to continue with the chicken, but I might do a variety of like a chicken and pork box, or maybe just a pork box one time. I just really like the flexibility of it, because if you're ordering it every 8 weeks or however often, you can get something new each time, and I really love that. They even have like a tailgate box with burgers, hot dogs, and some other things, so I think that's really neat. But I don't really need beef, and I'll show you why. I have a freezer full of bison still that we got from a local farm here in Colorado. But let me show you what we have. So just really quick, if you guys did see the freezer tour video, I added a couple things since then. I like these sweet potato gnocchis from Trader Joe's, as well as this pasta from Trader Joe's. It's really, really good. We have a Jimmy Dean, a couple of them, Jimmy Dean sausages, because they were on sale at the grocery store. So I have this for the Good Rancher stuff. This is full of tomatoes. You know my whole tomato saga. I'm going to get to canning these soon, hopefully. I want to do it sooner rather than later. I've heard that they start to lose their nutrients if they're frozen for more than 3 months. And they have been. It's been about 5 months now. So I want to go ahead and get to those soon. This one has some pork from the store, some vacuum sealed sausage. I did pick up a couple of beef roasts for like enchiladas and things that I don't want to use my bison roast for. But that's mainly extra sort of meats are in here. And then a ton of vegetables. Carrots from the garden, peppers from the garden, rutabagas from the garden. All this is from the garden basically, except for the corn. So rutabagas, turnips. There's also in the bottom some zucchini stuff and zucchini squash down there. But let me take these things out and I'll just show you briefly what's on the bottom. Okay, so in the bottom, underneath all of those bins, I'm out of breath from lifting all these up. They're heavy. I was raving about these bins before from Amazon, and they are still great. But you can see here, if they're heavy and you're trying to get them out, the straps might break. I even broke the small strap on the side. So just be careful and maybe lift them from the bottom if you can. They're still really great bins, but if there's some heavy stuff in there, the handles might break. So we have still quite a bit of ground bison. So this is all bison in here. Still some tomatoes here. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, maybe 17-ish packages of ground bison left. And then lots of other cuts. So all of there's some stew meat, but also a couple packages left of burger patties, some skirt steak, and then everything underneath this stuff here is all steak. So lots of bison steak. And then in here is our larger cuts like ribs, bones, oxtail, chuck tenders, chuck roasts, things like that. So we still have a lot of bison to eat from our quarter of a bison that we ordered back in March. I just love how perfect everything fits in here with the bins. I did lift all of these other 3 with the handles. This one's not heavy, but these 2 are heavy, and I lifted them with the handles, and they did just fine. So I don't know if this one was just a little bit faulty. I have one extra, so I may end up replacing it, but it wasn't a huge deal. It's not like I'm moving it too often. I guess to get to the stuff underneath, I will be picking it up, but it's easy to pick up by the sides, so not really a problem. Just briefly, I know I mentioned just other cuts of meats in here, but I have some kielbasa and stuff in the bottom of these, and some brats. Yeah, that's mostly it. So mostly pork stuff and some beef roast for enchiladas. So here's the freezer situation. I've got it closed so it can stay cool, and I'm going to take you inside and show you the pantry stuff now. So I don't really include things in my fridge for my pantry challenge because I will have to potentially buy some of these things, obviously like eggs, some dairy stuff. We like this Chobani creamer. I had some protein shakes and stuff down here, and then some fresh fruits and vegetables. So, and then we've got some condiments and things that we may end up replacing. But for the most part, I just don't really pay attention to the fridge stuff too much when I'm doing a pantry challenge. If I need to buy fresh things, then I do. Especially eggs, dairy, things like that. And for our indoor freezer, we organized this in one of the last videos. I think it's the freezer tour video, so it still looks pretty good and organized. Here is that chicken breast I was telling you guys about. So you can see they're like about the size of my hand, 4.5 ounces. They're perfect for like single portions. And this is what chicken is supposed to look like. This is the normal size of chicken breast. They are not supposed to be 2 pounds each. So this makes me feel a lot better eating something that's this size rather than massive and something that you know is not supposed to be that big. Still have lots of things in here. I've made some crock pot meals recently, and I froze them in my super cubes, what was left, so I have lots of soups and things here. That's what all of that shelf is. Still have these bananas. We need to make banana bread and some other bread items. Got a big thing of bacon, one of my last deliveries from Safeway. This is just half and half that I like to use in pumpkin pies. I bought a carton, but just froze it all so that I can have those to thaw out for pies. Some hamburger buns, chicken patties, some sausage, and then I think all this was from before. Lots of veggies in here from the garden also. Pierogies, I think of chorizo, some mushroom risotto from Trader Joe's, some berries, and then just some random things, some hot link sausages, butter. We will have to replace butter at some point. I don't know if I probably will use all this in the next couple of months. We kind of go through butter. Some pumpkin puree. The kitten really likes this, so he gets that as an occasional treat. And just some other random things, some other random peppers, some tomato purees and stuff that are frozen super cubes as well. Speaking of kitten, I got my stool out to show you the pantry. And here he is. He's not so much of a kitten anymore. He's getting really big. He still is 7 months. He'll be 8 months soon, so. You want to say hi? Do you want to say hi? See, I'm getting big. This is Ted. He came with that name, and it's so perfect. So I'm going to get on my stool and show you what's in my pantry quick. There's some random stuff. This very much needs to be organized, so ignore that fact. But some tortillas, taco shells. I do have some barley and a few things of dried beans, garbanzos, things like that. A big bag of chocolate chips in the background. No, guys. If you hear my cats fighting, that's what they're doing right now. A big bag of chocolate chips in the background. Some cornbread dressing, because I might just make another one for Christmas. And then there's just some bulk stuff like mustard seeds and some things to restock with at the top. Again, very much needs to be organized, but we'll get to that maybe later today or sometime this week. I just got this from Trader Joe's the other day, this spiced cranberry granola, and I thought this would be so good. So I need to get some yogurt to try this with. It looks delicious. Really excited about it. I don't know why things are not sitting upright in here. Obviously, we just tossed them in. Some dried cranberries that I was going to use for something for holidays, and I have not. Some rice, some oats, some sun-dried tomatoes, some chips, some more rice. This will last us for a little bit. Oh my gosh, everything is just not organized right now. I'm gonna take this out because I'm gonna put some pasta in it. Condiment stuff, some blue cheese, some more tortillas. This one's kind of hard. I'm gonna toss it, and then we'll put this pasta into this container. Croutons. This wild rice I used in one of those crock pot soups, and it was really good. I've got some orzo, some macaroni noodles, and nothing in those two yet. And then some chia seeds. Yeah, I very much need to organize this because everything is all over the place. Some Annie's mac and cheese. And then I got this from Costco. I saw it online and I was like, we have to try it. It is expensive. I forget how much I paid for it, but I think it was like maybe $15 for this bottle. It is big. It's a 750 ml bottle. Like you can see, it's really heavy actually. Maple syrup. It's like a bourbon barrel aged maple syrup. I've heard it's really delicious. I don't know if they only have it at the holiday season or not. I've never seen it before, but like I said, I saw it online and I felt like I had to try it. So we have some syrup in the fridge right now, but when we're done with that, we'll use this one. And I'm sure you need to refrigerate after opening. Yeah, here we go. So that'll go in the fridge after we open it. And then bottom shelf situation here. Let's step off my stool. I need to take some of these lids down to the basement. I just kind of toss them in here for convenience, but I will transport them to the basement. A banana that needs to be eaten, clearly. Sometimes I put some avocados and some other things in here, but nothing at the moment. Some cherry tomatoes that also need to be eaten. So back to the pantry stuff. We have some pitas. I try to keep extra condiment stuff that will fit in here. I don't think the blue cheese will fit on this shelf. It needs to go up, but I'm not gonna adjust it. So we've just got some extra sauces, some home canned things. This is our red pepper jelly, a hot pepper jelly. I had some extra and I just put it in a big jar for us because we really, really like it. So excited to have a big jar of that. This is my mango habanero hot sauce I'll probably use for chicken. And then, yeah, here's another thing of maple syrup that I had already bought before the big one, but this is just a tiny guy. I guess I'll go by maybe the expiration date for which one to use first. I don't see an expiration date on it. Does syrup expire? I'm sure it does. I just don't see an expiration on this. That's interesting. There might be one on the other one. I don't know. Let me know. Does maple syrup expire? I guess maybe it does once it's opened. I have no idea. Anyways, relish, some breadcrumbs that usually go on this middle shelf here. Oh my gosh, if you guys saw my pantry challenge video from last year, you will have seen this already because I said I was going to use it up in the next couple of months after that. I never did. We still have it. And yes, it very much needs to be used because this does expire. There was a date on here. Best if used by, August 15th, 2023. Interesting. I thought for sure that it was 2024 because it was definitely in my last video or my other pantry challenge video that I did. Should we use it? It hasn't been opened. It just says Best Buy. It doesn't say like don't eat. I'm sure it's probably fine. Anyways, I don't really know how to use this or what to use it on. Chicken was my idea, but again, I never bought chicken until like recently for basically this entire year. So I just haven't gotten around to using it and I don't know if I will. We'll see about that. Some more sauces in the back, some Caesar, some Tabasco. I have these nut pods because if I ever run out of the Chobani, I like to have a backup option. So this is gingerbread latte. I have a couple of kind of special special edition holiday ones. There's a cinnamon one downstairs in the basement and then these gingerbread lattes. These actually just came off Amazon. So, and I don't think they're that bad for you. Almond milk, coconut cream, organic cane sugar, sunflower, lectin, sea salt. Yeah, not terrible ingredients, so that's good. Oh, here's Another one that I have, French vanilla. And these are shelf stable creamers. That's why I also like these, because they're shelf stable. But once you open them, you can stick them in the fridge. Sun-dried tomatoes. Just of note, don't put your sun-dried tomatoes in oil in the fridge, because the oil is not oil anymore. It just basically like solidifies. So your sun-dried tomatoes can stay out in the cabinet at room temperature. They do not have to be refrigerated. Refrigeration is not required. If it's refrigerated, return to room temperature prior to use, because this oil will solidify. We've got some almond butter. I don't eat peanut butter, but, oh, this actually is peanut butter. I don't eat peanut butter. I will eat almond butter. I don't think we have any almond at the moment, but my husband eats the peanut butter and almond butter, but that's just what he bought. Some roasted red peppers, because I just ran out, so I just bought these. Some coconut water for smoothies and things. Some extra Kinder's seasoning. We love this garlic and herb one. Some anchovies and some tuna back there, stacked up. Some capers. I love capers. Anything like Greek and whatever I can put capers in, I do. And then we've got some coconut milk, but otherwise we've just got some tomato sauce, some diced chilies, some sweet peas. I think there's a pumpkin puree back there, some cream of chicken, cream of celery, and cream of mushroom for the dressing. And then some corn and some more pumpkin puree. So I will get to organizing this, just not right this second. So that's it for most of the dry things, but then down here I do have some other stuff in my big lazy Susan. This very much needs to be cleaned and wiped out, so don't judge, but I will show you what we have. Because there's oils and stuff in here, it just gets a little grimy sometimes, so it definitely needs a good wash. I try to vacuum it out every once in a while, but I just need to take everything out of here and just wipe it down and put everything back and be fresh for the new year. So I definitely think I'll get to doing that and organizing my pantry up here in the coming days. But anyways, we have oil, lots of oils actually. Our olive oil here. I have some chili oil, some basil oil, and some garlic olive oil. And then I also have this Tuscan herb olive oil from this fancy olive oil company that is nearby me. And I like to use this Tuscan herb one in my focaccia. So good. It is a game changer for focaccia. I have, back up here, lots of seasonings. We love the Kinders, so we have different varieties of those. Cowboy butter, garlic and herb, the Santa Maria. We get all these from Costco. This one is not Kinder's, but it's a Greek Mediterranean from Costco. I've only been able to find it once, and it's so good. We're getting low, so if I could find it again, that would be great. The taco blend. We actually don't love the taco blend. It's easy enough just to make your own taco blend, so I don't know if we'll buy that one again. And then just pepper, salt, vegetable oil, which we rarely ever use. Hot sauce, coconut oil. Some restock things like chili powder, ground mustard. We have some s'more stuff in the back that we've had for way too long. Some balsamic vinegar, more seasoning, white vinegar. And then just because this container doesn't fit up top with the other pasta, I keep it down here. And it's perfect here. I usually just kind of toss it in the back for spaghetti or linguine noodles. Some bagel seasoning, some paprika. I have my smaller seasonings up in the shelf here, but these are just to restock the smaller ones. And then I keep my baking stuff together down here, my baked items. This is cumin, but there's molasses, there's cacao powder. This malt powder I used in my Guinness sourdough bread. I have a full video posted on that too. That was delicious. The cat likes to get in here. Tries to, at least. I don't let him. Cornstarch, flours, baking soda, baking powder, brown sugar, and regular sugar. That's pretty much what's in here. We've got some tortilla chips that need to be used. Ooh, I just noticed how dirty my cabinets are. I'm gonna have to clean those too. A bigger bag of tortilla chips, some potatoes. This is about half a bag here. One sweet potato left, it looks like. Yeah, just one. And then we've got onions and garlic from the store. Usually after I like crack open a garlic, I'll store the rest of it up here in this little pottery dish. So we've got some in there too. But that's pretty much it for my pantry goods. What are you guys thinking so far? Do you think all of this is gonna last us for 2 months basically if I do the pantry challenge for January and February? There's just 2 of us. We don't have kids or anyone else to worry about. So I feel like with 2 adults, you can actually make do pretty well with a minimal amount of food. This is not a minimal amount. I feel like this is actually a lot of food. And you're definitely gonna think it's a lot of food when I show you what we have in our basement. So let's go. Okay guys, if this is your first time seeing my canning pantry and basement situation, I have several videos already on this. I actually just did one recently of reorganizing my basement pantry. I have a full video on that. It was before the freezer tour video, so make sure to go check it out because again, I'm not going to go into huge detail about every one of these goods, but I will give you an overview just so you can get an idea of what we have going into the pantry challenge. Everything on top is just random goods, so don't worry about any of that. That's nothing edible. That's just random stuff. Really quick, I do have another dry good box down here that I keep closed up. We don't get bugs or anything that I'm aware of down here, but I will show you what's in. The Annie's comes in bulk at Costco, so we don't buy these individually. They come in a big pack. So lots of mac and cheese boxes, just convenience item. Really, it's not something that we eat all the time. And then we still have lots of pasta noodles. So I have the pasta upstairs and then I have this 6-pack plus 2 others. So 8 packages of pasta. And this goes a long, long way. We've got some popcorn. I don't really love the Kirkland Costco popcorn, but we have a really big box of it, so we're going to have to eat it. And then we have these fig bars as well. I was eating these really good for a while, and then I kind of stopped. I actually want to see what the, I was looking to see if it had much protein in it. Only 3 grams, so not very much. They're not like a protein bar. They're more of just like a sort of snack bar. And not tons of terrible ingredients, but it's a blueberry and raspberry combo. They are good. I just don't reach for them that much anymore. So I don't know if I'll buy such a big box again, but we have them. That's all for our dry goods in here. And then back to the canning goods. I have some space saved. I did have some space saved for some tomato products because I need to can up all of those tomatoes, obviously. And I plan to do that hopefully in the next maybe few weeks to the next month or so. These are diced chilies. This label is just coming off. My homemade pepper jelly. I just have a few jars left because they were great Christmas gifts and I sold a bunch for Christmas gifts as well. So anyways, again, not going into detail, but some sauce options, bruschetta, all of my pickled stuff. Some of this stuff is obviously from the store. Like I buy the tomato sauce and tomato paste and the diced tomatoes from Costco because it's not worth my time and energy to make those sorts of things for my tomatoes when I can make other things like the bruschetta that I would much rather have. So these are obviously a necessity. I use them often, but I buy them in bulk from Costco. And then beans and broth. As you can see, I need to restock my broth. I had a bunch when I did my reorganization video, but I've been making soups and things, so I've used up quite a few. Sloppy Joe sauce. And then we've got all of our fruit items up here, as well as a couple sauces, chutneys. What was this one? Oh, this is the apple. Oh no, this is the cantaloupe jam that I don't actually love. Peaches, pears, pear butters. Down here we've got our pickled peppers, zucchini relish, and all of our salsa verdes. These are my chipotle tomatillo sauces. Some are a little more green, And then some, it looks like I put a little extra chipotle in, so that's the color difference. But as you can see here, very impressive. 4 rows, 4.5 now of salsa verde, all from tomatillos from my garden. So we love this stuff. This is what I'll use for our enchiladas. We prefer like a green sauce over a red sauce for enchiladas. And I figured salsa verde is just easier than buying actual enchilada sauce. So that's what we'll use. And then just store-bought stuff from mostly Costco. Pasta sauces, we've got 3 of those. And then this one. This one's not my favorite. I'd rather have just a basic red sauce. Some pickled beets, but I also have roasted beets from the garden. Vinegar, artichokes, plenty of honey, so 3-pack of the little bears. I probably will buy more lemon juice. I use this in water and stuff, and I prefer to use this one, but actually, you know what? I really prefer to use this one in canning recipes because it's just organic lemon juice. And this one is also lemon juice, but I think it had an extra ingredient in it or something. Yeah, it's got a few extra ingredients in it. So this one is just strictly only lemon. So for canning recipes, I was using this one. This one I'll put in water and stuff. I don't mind doing that, but I may need to get another pack of these when we go to Costco next time. Some more sun-dried tomatoes, more coconut milk, hot sauce, coconut water, and then the nut pods. This one is I think it's cinnamon sugar. These came off Amazon, like I said, and they're a 3-pack. So we've got the gingerbread latte, and then cinnamon swirl. That's what this one is. So I haven't tried either of these yet, actually. I just have the one upstairs, but I haven't opened it. And then just some extra soaps and things just for restock. So I keep what I need upstairs, sort of minimal stuff up there. But then any extra goods I'll keep down here in the basement just to keep only what I need basically upstairs, with maybe an extra jar or 2 of whatever. But mostly all of my stuff is down here. I just come get it as needed. This is my basement crawl space, but it's huge. I can stand up in it. So I just sort of climb through my little square Harry Potter door and get what I need. And it's actually not a problem. I don't want to keep anything too heavy down here. For instance, my Presto pressure canner. I would never store that down here because I do use it on a pretty regular basis. Even if it's not canning season, I definitely use it all the time during canning season, but if it's not canning season, I tend to make like broths and beans and things like that. It's kind of funny. I have like a routine. It's like during the summer, I'm doing pickled things and stuff with vinegars and relishes and whatever. And so summer is like my water bath canning season, and then winter is like my pressure canning season. I don't really pressure can a lot of my vegetables because usually they're going into a recipe that's pickled or has vinegar in it. I don't do like pressure canned just carrots and water or anything like that because I like to incorporate them into sauces or salsas or things that I know that we would eat. If I'm going to have just carrots, then I just keep them in the freezer like you guys saw, and we just take them out as needed. You're not eating those fresh, of course, but for instance, we used them the other day to put into a bison meatloaf. So anything that you need a carrot addition to that you're cooking, you can just use the frozen carrots. I just saw them out for a few minutes, peeled them, washed them really good. They've been washed once, but I didn't peel them before freezing them. So if you don't want them peeled, obviously you can go through the process of peeling them when you use them, and that's what we do. So we used it in the meatloaf, and we've used them in other things. I had, I think, 2 full gallon bags, and now we're down to about a bag and a quarter maybe. So we've actually been using quite a bit of them. And then same thing with like the potatoes. Potatoes we'll just use fresh out of the garden. I don't can those. I don't store those just because we usually don't have enough. We don't grow tons and tons of potatoes. But the rutabagas, the beets, the root vegetables, basically, I will roast and freeze all of those. So the ones that you saw in the freezer, they have already been roasted in olive oil and some seasoning, and they were vacuum sealed, and we just take those out and heat them up as needed for meals, for sides and things like that. So So yeah, during the summer, my pressure canner just stays on the counter basically because I'm using it often. And then in the winter, I keep it in a closet up near my kitchen, just kind of tucked away so that I can drag it out as needed. And it's on the same level as my kitchen, so I don't have to go up and down stairs with it or anything like that. I would never store something super heavy that I'm using on a regular basis down here for that reason, because I have to crawl down here and get it and it would just be too much. But everything else, everything that you see is very, very accessible. I can come down here anytime and get it whenever I need it. So I love having the space for these things. It very much is a canning pantry at the moment. So as you can see, we have lots and lots of condiments, fruit things, sauces, pickles, pickled peppers, tomato products, bruschetta, broth, beans, lots of things. So if you weren't sure before, after looking at the freezer and the pantry, that we didn't have enough for a 2-month-long pantry challenge, I think after seeing this, you probably are a little more convinced. I'm a little more convinced. Like I said, I will go to the store for something such as eggs, dairy. I don't have chickens. I don't have a cow for dairy products. We don't use milk often, but we do use the creamer. I do buy yogurt. I do buy yogurt protein shakes just for the extra protein, eggs, and cheese. So those are the main things that I cannot make on my own. I do not have really access to other than the grocery store. I'm sure there's some local farms and stuff around me that have milk, cheese, and dairy products. But again, you're not buying those things in bulk necessarily. We do buy like the big blocks of cheese, and you can freeze cheese easily. And you can freeze milk, I guess, but I just don't freeze milk. But I do freeze the cheese. So not something I'll stock up on, but if I'm getting a big block of cheese from the grocery store, sometimes I'll get 2 or 3 of them just to freeze so that we have it for next time. Especially if I'm doing a bunch of sourdough breads and making like jalapeno cheddar loaves and things like that I use cheese often for, then I like to have extra so that I'm never going to run out. But right now we just have what's in our refrigerator, which I think is a full block, maybe a bag or 2 of like mozzarella cheese and things like that. We do have some cream cheese because I've been using that with like holiday baking and stuff. But yeah, so those are the things, as well as fresh fruit, fresh vegetables if we need those things. We're not really great at eating fresh fruit. I feel like it tends to go to waste before we actually eat it. And I think it's because I don't store it appropriately. I just keep it in the plastic containers. But we're just not huge fresh fruit eaters, especially this time of the year. I'd rather have fresh fruit in the summer, I guess. But we have some frozen fruit if we want that. I've been into grapefruit lately, so I've been buying some of those. But like berries and stuff, I feel like you just have to buy those things when they're in season. Otherwise, they're just not good. So that's not something I'll spend much money or time on. And then as far as fresh vegetables, like avocados, we like to have, I guess avocado is technically a fruit because of the seed. However you want to look at it. It goes in my vegetable drawer in the fridge, so that's why I'm calling it a vegetable. Potatoes, what else would we buy fresh? Maybe like mushrooms, maybe a lettuce occasionally. But again, I don't know how much of that I'll be buying during the pantry challenge because I don't normally eat lettuce and salads in the winter. That's more of a spring, summer kind of meal for me. So yeah, all that being said, I don't know how much fresh stuff that I will be buying. I think it'll mostly just be dairy, potatoes, and that's pretty much the majority. If there's eggs, obviously, if there's anything that I need to replace, I'm not gonna feel restricted to do so. I will just replace it if I feel the need. If it's a seasoning or something that we don't use on an absolute regular basis, then I may skip it and just wait until the pantry challenge is over. But otherwise, if I feel the need for it, I'll buy it. But I think that with all of this, I'm not buying any meat from the grocery store. I either have the bison from the local ranch or have the chicken and stuff from Good Ranchers that I will continue to buy. My membership for that, my next box will happen at the end of January, so that will be during the Pantry Challenge. And I'll let you guys know later which box I decide to go with, if I do just chicken again, or chicken and pork, or if I pick the seafood box this time. It's really nice actually to have the salmon. I would like to have more fish in our diet and in our freezers. It's just not something that we have great access to living in, landlocked Colorado. So I have access to someone that I know back home, back in Eastern North Carolina, where I'm from, that I could get very fresh, very local. Sorry, I had to go back upstairs for a minute because it sounded like someone was walking, and I'm the only one home other than my 2 cats. And I was like, what is that noise? I could hear it right up here in the corner. And I seriously thought my husband was home or something, but it was too early for him to be home. So I was like, that's weird. It's my kitten. He's scrambling around in the kitchen playing with a toy, but it literally sounds like a person walking. So anyway, side note. So yeah, I have that source back at home that I could order local, very, very fresh seafood from. They would just overnight the box to me, and it would be frozen, probably on dry ice, which is how the Good Ranchers box came, and how most meat comes, or even like HelloFresh boxes or anything that has frozen or cold ingredients. That's usually how they ship it, with dry ice. So I could do that, or I could just get the box from Good Ranchers and see how that goes first. I think Good Ranchers has more of a variety than what that place has. I think that they mostly just have shrimp and stuff. And Good Ranchers has fish, which is kind of what I would rather have, and just incorporate more fish into our diets. So just behind me, I have extra jars and things, and a big stack of just like emergency water. This is not water that we use. I don't like to buy water in single-use plastic, but these are for emergencies if we need them. And then I do have a bucket with like a Gamma Seal lid that has some extra rice, dry beans, and just a couple of bags of things like that in it, some baking soda, I think some oats. So just a couple of extra dry goods that I won't need to purchase. Here's the culprit. I don't know what he has gotten under the rug, but it's also dirty. We need to clean everything today, buddy. What's under there? A noodle? Where did this come from? It's literally a broken spaghetti noodle. No, you don't need that. That's not a toy. So you guys have seen pretty much everything that I have food-wise in my freezers, in my fridge, in my pantries, and downstairs in my basement with all of my canning goods. So yeah, I think I'm going to take this on this year. This is my 3rd year doing the Pantry Challenge. The first year we did really, really good and came up with a lot of creative ways to use things and just to use what we had. We rarely went to the store the first year. Last year we did not do so good. I don't remember why. I posted videos about like a Pantry Challenge prep and then like a post, and I told you guys that we failed miserably, and we did. I think I just wasn't making it a priority, and I was like, no, we'll just get whatever. But this year I'm gonna make it a priority. I feel like I have enough variety of things now with the chicken, the pork, the bison, and then all of the stuff that I canned this year. I canned almost, I think it was, with the pepper jellies, I think it was over 300 jars of things. But I also still have all of those bags of tomatoes that you saw that I need to get to as well. So well over 400 things canned by the time I get to the tomatoes. So we have plenty of canned items to use. And yeah, other than, like I said, the dairy stuff, there's really nothing that I'll need to buy from the store, I don't think. So instead of fresh things, my priority is to use the canned goods that I have, especially when it comes to like a tomato product, a salsa, the salsa verde, any sort of condiment item. I have varieties of vegetables and things that have been canned into other options. The bruschetta, with herbs and wine in it, and that's delicious. And red wine vinegar, I think is white wine vinegar. Absolutely delicious. So I have things like that I can use as toppings instead of having fresh vegetables, fresh sauces, and things like that from the store. So my priority is to use those things up before next gardening and canning season, because I hope to have the same amount, if not much more. I definitely had lots of vegetables from the garden to can this year, so that was really exciting. You know how it is. Some years are great years with gardening and some aren't, so you never know what to expect, but I don't hoard any of this food. We actually use it all. I plan to get through a lot of the things in my basement this year, especially some of the older things that I canned a year or two ago. I really want to make sure that we eat those things sooner rather than later. And then whatever we have left at gardening season, that's fine. We'll continue to use it, but I just want to try to make a dent in that before we have another gardening and canning season. So Pantry Challenge 2025, starting out strong. I'm really excited about it, and I'll keep you guys updated. Let me know in the comments below if you guys are planning to do a Pantry Challenge this year and what that might look like for your family. Like I said, there's just 2 of us, so I feel like this is more than enough food for 2 of us. I could probably feed the entire neighborhood with the food that I have right now. And I know sometimes it seems like, you know, a little bit or a lot doesn't go a long ways, but for 2 adults, I feel like this food will actually go a pretty long way. So we'll see. We don't really eat out a ton. We have eaten out a little more in the last couple of months. And I think there's a couple of reasons for that, but the end of the year and like holiday season, I think is just hard. But going forward, we'll get back to our normal routine of not eating out often. Usually the only time that we eat out prior to the last couple months is just like with friends or social events or things like that. Maybe the occasional lunch or dinner out, but not very often. We eat at home very, very often, so that's why I'm excited to have a big variety of things for lunches and dinners. And we'll just have to cook it, which also won't be a problem because I have some new cookware coming for Christmas in just a few days that I will be very excited to use next year. So stay tuned for all of that. Again, I just wanted to say, I said this in my last video, but one more time, thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. I started my YouTube channel in January of this year in 2024, and I am ending out the year strong with over 1,000 subscribers. I never expected or planned to get 1,000 subscribers in a year, and I know that's, you know, not to compare. I know it takes some people a few months. It takes some people a few years. You just never know with YouTube and whatever kind of content you're creating. But I just want to thank each and every one of you that tunes into all of my videos, or even just, you know, if you've watched 1 or 2 of them. I really appreciate you. This has been the most fun thing and has been really a blessing in my life this year. It's been a really good distraction from some medical stuff that I've had going on. But also it's just been really fun to make this content for you. All of this stuff, everything that I do in my videos is stuff that I'm already doing anyways. I just decided to film it and I'm really glad that I did because a lot of you have offered really great advice and suggestions, and I think that you guys have learned from me as well, and that means a lot. This has been really more than I could have asked for, so thank you guys so much. If you haven't subscribed already and would like to, please go ahead and subscribe now. Also like this video. I think this will be my last video of 2024. In 2025, one of my first videos I plan to make is on my temperature blanket, my crocheted temperature blanket that I did this year. I started that project without knowing how to crochet, and I did it for 365 days, which also is a huge accomplishment. And I will show you guys the final result of my crocheted temperature blanket in January. So if that's something that you want to see, make sure to come back for that. I'll probably post it the first week of January or so. But this probably will be my last video of 2024, and then we'll get started strong in January 1st with our pantry challenge for next year. And yeah, make sure to comment about your pantry challenge plans. I can't wait to hear them, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.